Hey people, we're continuing with the book California. We are outdoors today. It's June the 1st. So this is where we left off. California's landscape and climate have inspired many artists. Novelist John Steinbeck and photographer Dorothea Lange each created works about the Dust Bowl era. Steinbeck's classic The Red Pony tells the story of a boy growing up on a ranch. Nature also fascinated Jack London, whose novel The Call of the Wild tells the story of a California dog who has been kidnapped. Samuel Clemens, better known as Mark Twain, wrote funny tales such as The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County. California writers have compelling stories to tell about the experience of immigrants or people of color. Amy Tan writes that about life as a Chinese American in the Joy Luck Club, 89. Young adult books inspired by California include Scott Odell's Island of the Blue Dolphins, Pam Munoz Ryan's Esperanza Rising, and Lawrence Yep's Dragon Wings. A section here shown is the Great Wall of Los Angeles is a mural that is a half a mile long and took 5 summers to complete. Gary Soto, storyteller. Born in Fresno, Gary Soto, born 1952, grew up in a working-class Mexican-American neighborhood. His grandparents moved to the U.S. from Mexico, and his parents worked hard picking grapes, cotton, and oranges in California's fields. A professor of Chicano or Mexican-American Studies and English at the University of California, Irvine. He wrote books for young readers, including Baseball in April and other stories. A Fire in My Hands, Taking Sides, and Neighborhood Odes. He enjoys writing poetry, plays, stories for young people and adults. Nice. Artist Judith Baca created a project called the Great Wall of LA to celebrate the city's diversity. More than 400 people helped to paint this mural. What do Olympic figure skater Michelle Kwan, tennis greats Billie Jean King, Pete Sampras, and the Williams sisters, basketball legend Magic Johnson, baseball Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn, and British soccer star David Beckham have in common? California. It is either their birthplace or adopted home. People may think of surfing when they think of California, but the sport wasn't invented here. It has its roots in Hawaii and Polynesia. By the 50s, thanks to popular beach culture, movies, and music, surfing and California were inseparable. Today, California's sports teams include the 5-time World Series champion LA Dodgers, the LA Lakers, winners of 15 NBA titles, and the San Francisco 49ers, who hold 5 Super Bowl victories. And that's just the pros. To see all the great college teams that play in the state, turn to the sports team list. No matter what your sporting interests in California, there's sure to be one for you to watch or play. Eldrick Tiger Woods, a mind for golf. Almost everyone knows the famous face of Tiger Woods. He was born and raised in Cyprus, born 1975, went to California public schools, and spent 2 years at Stanford University. The story goes that he swung his first club when he was barely able to walk, and he went on to win the U.S. amateur title 3 times, something no one else has done. After turning pro in '96, Woods won the '97 Masters tournament, the first person of color and the youngest person to win that event. Since then, he has won the other 3 major tournaments, the U.S. Open, British Open, and PGA Championships, multiple times, and is gunning for Jack Nicklaus' record of 18 major titles. Woods gives back to the community through the Tiger Woods Foundation and the Tiger Woods Learning Center, both based in Southern California. High schooler Kristen Schlecker was sick and tired of public school textbooks that were often worn out and outdated. She believed that the books should be reviewed every 4 years for quality and up-to-date information. In 2000, she submitted this idea to her state lawmakers. She even appeared before them to argue her cause. Within months, Kristen's idea became a law. The Capitol now houses the executive and legislative branches of state government. It once housed the judicial branch as well. In the fall of 1849, a group of 48 people met for 6 weeks in Monterey to draft California's first constitution in 1849. And then by 1877, citizens thought about politics had changed, and they were worried about economic depression. They voted to hold a meeting to revise the Constitution to address those problems. The voters adopted a new Constitution in 1879. So from 1849, 48 people drafted the first Constitution of California in Monterey, and by 1879 they made a new Constitution. Since then, they have created amendments many times. A legislature's job is to pass state laws. California is composed of 2 branches, the State Senate and the State Assembly. Both meet in the state capitol. That is the building that is shown. So both also shown here. So both of the Senate and the Assembly meet at the Capitol building. Which is in Sacramento, and Californians also elect people to represent them in the 2 houses of the U.S. Congress. And so they elect 2 U.S. senators and 53 U.S. representatives. That's more representatives than any other state. Why so many? Because the number of U.S. representatives is determined by population, and California has the nation's largest or highest population. Capital facts: the exterior height 220 feet, height of interior dome 120 feet. It's 4 stories, 320 feet in length. The width is 164 feet. The park around it is 40 acres. It's located 10th Street between L and N Streets in Sacramento. constructed 1860 through 1874 years, and an annex added in 1952. The cost of its construction is $245 million. So those are the facts. Sacramento has some places of interest, such as the State Railroad Museum, State Military Museum, Tower Bridge, Parker Art Museum, State Library, the State Capitol, the Wells Fargo History Museum, Governor's Mansion, Sacramento Convention Center, State Indian Museum, and Museum for History, Women and the Arts. Okay. California amended its constitution more than 460 times during the 20th century. The state government of California, which is the following parts: executive branch consists of these sections, and they carry out the state laws. So we have Secretary of State, Lieutenant Governor, Governor, Treasurer, and Attorney General that carries out state laws, the executive branch. And you have Governor in the middle, then the Cabinet, then the Departments of Education, Environmental Protection, Food and Agriculture, Labor, and many other departments. So, Secretary of State, Lieutenant Governor, Treasurer, and Attorney General, and then the Governor. And the legislative branch is the Senate, which is 40 members, and Assembly, which is 80 members, makes and passes laws. And then the judicial, which enforces state laws, Supreme Court, Courts of Appeal, 6 with 19 divisions. And Superior Courts, 58 of them. So 6 Courts of Appeal with 19 divisions, then Superior Courts are 58. Representing Californians, the number of elected officials who represent California both on the state and national levels: Office of State Senator, 40, and a length of term 4 years. State Assembly member, 80, and they last for 2 years. U.S. Senator number is 2 senators, U.S. senators, and they last for 6 years. The U.S. Representative, 53 of them, and they last 2 years. And presidential electors, 55. And the link is http://capitol.ca.gov/English/citizen/government/index.html. The job of the executive branch is to carry out state laws. California's government is the chief executive or head of the executive branch. His or her office is in the state capitol. Voters elect the governor to a 4-year term. In California, a governor can serve only 2 terms in a row. Carrying out the laws is a massive job. Voters elect several other executive officers to take charge of special areas. They include the Lieutenant Governor, State Secretary, or Secretary of State, Attorney General, and the Treasurer, then the controller, and then the insurance commissioner, and superintendent of public instruction. The judicial branch consists of the California court system. The judges who serve on the courts are responsible for deciding whether someone has broken the law. The judges listen to cases. In the courts, they hear evidence for or against, and they study what law says, and they make decisions. Okay? California has 3 levels of courts. The highest court is the state Supreme Court. It has a Chief Justice or judge and 6 associate justices. So 3 levels of courts. Highest court, state Supreme Court, which has a Chief Justice or a judge and 6 associate justices. Beneath the Supreme Court are several district courts of appeal. They hear cases on appeal from lower courts. Each country has a superior or each county has a trial court. These courts hold most of the state's major trials. Okay, so the district courts hear appeals from lower courts, and each county has a superior or trial court. Beneath the Supreme Court are district courts, several courts of appeal. Okay, besides the state government, California has county and city governments also. Arnold Schwarzenegger, from actor to governor, born 47, long known as a movie actor, starring in movies such as The Terminator. We know him as the 38th governor of California, elected to replace Governor Gray Davis in October 2003. He focused on reducing greenhouse gas emissions, a leading cause of global warming, and improving the state's infrastructure, including roads and transportation. He's born in Austria. He's a champion bodybuilder, and he came to U.S. after being the youngest person ever to win the Mr. Universe title, and was a citizen from '83. I'll be back. Appeal means a legal proceeding in which a court is asked to change the decision of a lower court. So most of California, 58 counties, elect a 5-member board of supervisors. They also elect officers such as county assessor, auditor, clerk, coroner, district attorney, sheriff, school superintendent, and treasurer. Most of the cities elect a city manager and a city council to govern them. Some elect a mayor and a city council. As of 2005, California has 478 incorporated cities. Among those, 108 are chartered cities. A chartered city has home rule. That is, it has drawn up its own charter. This gives the city a lot of control over local affairs. Any city with at least 3,500 residents can choose to adopt home rule. Incorporated means recognized as a self-governing entity. And charter means a basic set of rules. California and the White House. Richard Milu Nixon, 1913 born, was the 37th U.S. president. He was president from 1969 to 1974. He resigned during the Watergate scandal, becoming the only U.S. president to resign his office. He was born in Yorba Linda. Ronald Wilson Reagan. He was the 40th president. He was born 1911. His term was 81 through 89. Born in Illinois, he moved to California and became a movie actor. He was the governor from 67 to 75 of California. Nancy Pelosi was the speaker. Born 1940, has represented California's 8th district in the U.S. House of Representatives since 87. The district includes most of the city of San Francisco. In fall of 2002, she was elected Democratic Minority Leader of the House of Representatives. She's the first woman in U.S. history to lead a major party in the U.S. Congress. Okay. When the Democrats took control of the House following the 2006 election, Pelosi became the first woman Speaker of the House of Representatives. Have you ever been mad about something and declared there ought to be a law? If you live in California, you can make that happen. California has several ways for citizens to take the law into their own hands. One is by an initiative. This gives people power to propose new laws. They can also propose amendments or changes to the state constitution. Another powerful tool is the referendum. This allows citizens to keep a new law from taking effect. Unlike in other states, California citizens also have a way to remove public officials they're not pleased with. It's called a recall. Let's see. And then California has used the recall to remove Governor Gray Davis from office in 2003. California has some wacky laws, so the laws below are rarely if ever enforced. They're still on the books. Throughout the state, no vehicle without a driver may exceed 60 miles per hour. People in Blythe may not wear cowboy boots unless they own at least 2 cows. No one in LA may lick a toad. In Cathedral City, it is illegal to bring a dog to school. In Eureka, a man with a mustache may not kiss a woman. Oh my God. At election time, Californians often have referendums to consider. Signs like these try to tell people how to cast their votes. This is the state seal. The California state seal depicts the ancient Roman goddess of wisdom, Minerva. At her feet is a grizzly bear, an animal common in the state at the time of the gold rush. In the background is the Sacramento River, with a miner digging for gold along its banks. Ships on the river stand for California's trade. Also in the background are the mountains of the Sierra Nevada. At the top is the word Eureka, which is Greek for I have found it. The state flag, this is the seal, this cute little teddy bear, a miner and ships, etc. The state flag is called the bear flag. It features a red star and a grizzly bear on a white background. Underneath are the words California Republic and a red band. Grizzlies were common in the wilds of California. The star is an imitation of the Lone Star of the Texas flag. William Todd made the first bear flag on a piece of unbleached cotton cloth. In the bear flag revolt, June 14, 1846, settlers took over the Mexican headquarters of Sonoma. They raised the bear flag, declared California an independent republic. After statehood in 1850, the U.S. Stars and Stripes flew over California. And the bear flag was declared the state flag in 1911. We're going to pause right here. I'll continue later. Thank you guys. My page is facebook.com/YOSALLPLAY, YOSALLPLAY. California, 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 California. That's the book, California.